Hi, thanks for connecting in. I trust you're doing well and maybe enjoying some of the easing of restrictions that we've experienced lately. And I know this week I've enjoyed having a coffee in a coffee shop a couple of times, and I've enjoyed catching up with people in person rather than just on a screen. So I trust you're doing well. And thanks for the feedback you've given me over the last fortnight. I really appreciate that. Feedback is a gift. Generally, it's a gift, and I appreciate that. Last time I talked around the theme or the thought that vision is motivational, habits are transformational. And I want to take that a little further today and talk a little more about those transformational habits to develop in our lives. And my thought for today comes from a sandwich board that I saw when I was walking, when I was in Adelaide very early this year. A sandwich board I saw in the street. Where I was staying was close by to a weight loss clinic, one of those places where people go, I presume weekly or fortnightly, and weigh in and either celebrate or commiserate or both together as a result of their weigh-in. But that clinic every now and again will publish on the street in a sandwich board the cumulative amount of weight loss up till that point of time in the year. And they just published a new number. And on this particular day, up till that point of time in the year, members of that weight loss clinic had lost 11,037 kilograms. That's an amazing amount of weight. Extraordinary. You wonder where it's all gone. But what grabbed me was, as well as on the number on that sandwich board, was a little statement that said, one day or day one, you decide. And I know the context of that was in terms of weight loss, but I started thinking that how easy it is to get into one day thinking. One day I'll study again. One day I'll travel. One day I'll learn to play a musical instrument. One day I'll learn a new language. One day I'll make that phone call. One day I'll ring that person. One day I'll have that tough conversation. One day I'll make that decision. One day I'll address that relationship. One day I'll forgive. One day I'll pray. One day. How easy it is to make that mindset of just one day. In fact, when you think about it, I think there's a number of churches in this COVID-19 time who've had to make that pivot from one day to day one. When you think there are probably some churches who've thought, one day we will explore what it means to put our services online. One day we'll think about the digital expression of church. And all of a sudden, because of circumstances beyond our control, they've had to say, now it's day one. After maybe just 4 or 5 days' notice, they've gone from one day to day one. This is day one. And that's been amazing the way churches have done that. But when it comes to leadership, this one day or day one is really important. I don't know a great leader who's a great procrastinator, and I don't know a great procrastinator who's a great leader, because sometimes we can get caught up in this one-day thinking. The difficulty with one-day thinking is that it leaves people confused and uncertain, whereas day one thinking gives clarity. People know this is the direction, this is where we're going. Someone's drawn a line in the sand, this is where we're going. It gives clarity. It also gives alignment, where it gets people on the same page and people start thinking together about where we're going and putting into place those habits and those practices that we can go together. It also brings transformation, because when you get a group of people who know where they're going and are on the same page and are developing those transformational habits together, boy, do things change and can things happen. So my thought today is, one day or day one? We have to decide. And so just as I finish, let me ask that question of us all, I guess. Is there something for us where we need to make day one? Is this day one in a conversation I have to have with someone? Is this day one in a relationship I have to get right? Is this day one in a tough call I have to make? Is this day one in forgiving someone? Is this the day I need to pick up the phone or write that email or talk in person? Is this day one, or is it just one day? I trust this helps, because I think once we get day one thinking as opposed to one day thinking into our minds, we become better versions of ourselves. we see transformation happen. The organisations we're a part of, the churches we lead, they become better versions of themselves, and transformation can happen. So I hope that helps. Thanks again for joining in. Feel free to go to the website, timhanna.com.au, give us some feedback. I trust you do well. Stay strong, and live in hope.